All right, we're back. We're back. I don't know if you're going to see the end of that video before you
I
get back to me.
I saw the whole thing. I saw the whole video.
All right, there we go. That took me about 5 minutes. I'm very proud of it.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah, wow. What took you 5 minutes? I was like, wow, great,
Yeah,
5 minutes.
yeah, of course, yeah.
I got
Movie
the
maker,
shakes.
man.
I got the shakes watching it, and I was like, oh god, A4 sandwich.
A4 set. And you saw it die though, and kind of went.
I saw it, and I was like, what was my reaction to that kill again? I don't remember.
No, did you have like a horrible or great reaction?
No, it was just probably like, oh, thank God.
You're like,
Probably
okay,
the end
done,
of it.
bye.
Oh, I made a promise in pre-show that when I was on camera, I would show you bars. So
Do it.
here's a bar.
It's
There,
upside down.
It's upside down. It's Nugo Dark. If you want, you can call it Nugo Dank.
Nugo Dank.
Whatever makes you happy. It's a protein bar.
Welcome everybody. Welcome. Today is MogTalk episode 31, and it is September 28th, 2015. If you were confused about the year, and tonight we have a very special guest with us, Mr. Happy, aka Mr. Happy.
Hey.
Happy. I don't know.
That's it. You don't have like you could have gone with Mr. Crappy. You could have gone with Mr. Sappy. Anything that.
Okay, Mr. Sappy, Mr. Crappy, Mr. I can't make up any good ones. I'm not creative. I don't have Gilly anymore, man. I can't do it.
It's okay. I'm the nickname king. I have a million off the top of my head, so don't worry.
Well, you get to hear it every single day too.
That is true.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, I forgot. This is the intro. Welcome everybody. Mr. Frosty here. I hope you're having a very good day today. And tonight we have MogTalk, and I'm going to be teaching you about Mr. Happy.
Odd that you're the one teaching them about me and not me teaching them about. That's a very strange. Is this how like old
I'm in
war
charge of the video,
generals-
Happy.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, is this how old like war generals work? Like I don't.
Yeah.
Are they just like looking down like they're wrong? That's not. If only I could be there. They know the truth.
Oh, it's okay. You've played a lot of RTS. You know how it works. Have you
I
ever
soon to
played
play
any
another
RTS?
one.
Oh.
Lords of Verminion Master.
Yeah.
No, I won't. I really won't. I played StarCraft and StarCraft 2 and old Warcraft 3 and all that. But,
Did you get
like,
serious into StarCraft?
I didn't get too serious. StarCraft 2, I got addicted to the different game modes. There was one that was a first-person shooter. That was
Right.
phenomenal.
That game, I'm probably going to play Void of Legacy when it comes out. It has a special place with me. It does.
I didn't play the last one because I don't know. I just Googled the story. I was like, whatever.
I want to know what happens to Kerrigan.
Exactly. I
Alright,
want to know what happens to Zeratul now.
Right, and you'll Google it, and after about a week, I know exactly what happened. Didn't have to even buy a game. All right, so tonight we are going to be talking, of course, about Mr. Happy, and it's going to be a very fun and entertaining show. You guys will enjoy it. At the end, you'll be very happy. Okay.
He's made this joke at least 3 times.
Three times. I'm going to keep doing it. Tonight we do have an interview with Happiness, and that's the name of the show. It's Interview with Happiness. It's up there at the top, man. All right, so I want you guys all to know we are taking all the questions we can. But if there are 300 questions, and if I get fucking what is circle as the main question in my little chart, my little document I have there with you, Adagio, I'm going to be pissed. I put a section there.
Yeah, Dagio, come on.
Yeah, come on, Adagio. You can't answer any questions, but you can at least take them. That was pretty good.
Yeah, that was a good burn
that
right
was
there.
pretty
That's Adagio burn number 1.
Number 1, not on the show. Ding. All right. So, and yes, I am very clever. Let's start this off at the very beginning. I want to start where you have come from, where you've been, and where, well, we'll talk about where you're going, I guess. If there was a Wikipedia article, it was on you, and there's just a little summary section there that explained everything it could in 1 or 2 paragraphs, I guess. So you can go as many paragraphs as you want. What would be in that section, Mr. Happy?
I guess it depends on who edits it. That's going to vastly change what that Wikipedia page says.
Oh, and I got the picture up, by the way. It'll come up your way in just a second.
All right, that's fine. I'll see it eventually. Wait a minute, the picture up now. I'm interested,
Yeah.
Twitch delay, don't do this to me.
This is one of your videos that had, I think, 300 views on it
Oh
or
my
something like that.
god, I know that video. God, Jesus.
So
Oh,
long.
happy how far you have fallen.
That was 2 years ago, man.
I know that was 2 years
It was two
ago
years
because
ago.
I recognized my MacBook on the table behind me in front of my gunblade.
Yeah, and no, there's something that says GIF on there. I think I can't really see it too well in this picture. But
Oh, that's a certificate for the the National Association of Collegiate Scholars. I think that's what it's called.
huh? What?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go with it.
All right.
All right, all right. Let's get back to the Wikipedia article though.
All right.
All right.
Wikipedia article.
Tell me what the summary would say. Would it say that Mr. Happy came out of the womb with a headset on and in front of a computer and started streaming?
When a mommy happy and a daddy happy love each other very much, then they have a young happy who will grow up to be a Mr. Happy. There you go. No, that's so it would probably say Michael Mr. Happy Poveromo is a YouTube content creator / Twitch broadcaster, primarily focusing on the game Final Fantasy XIV. That would probably be the most general part of the summary, and then it's going the whole birth date. The 1227 in his name comes from his birthday, which is December 27th. So clever, because people have been doing that since they were 12 years old.
Oh God! But what other numbers would you pick if you like? How else do you find numbers for your name?
Well, I mean, here's the thing: everybody just thinks I'm an idiot, and I miss the threes on
That's
my
what I was
keyboard.
gonna say.
Everybody thinks I just missed the threes, and then it's supposed to say Mr. Happy Elite, which would be stupid.
Oh my God! If you had that name, I don't know if you'd be on this show.
I wouldn't want to be out of embarrassment. What other number? The other numbers I pick are 1990 for the year of birth.
Oh yeah, 1990. Oh, you're young, man.
I'm a youngin.
You're a youngin.
24, going on 25.
Yeah. Going on. Are you like 24 in like 6 months, 7 months? Are you the kind of person that's I'm 7 months?
Would you like me to remind you what the 1227 stands for?
I'm just messing with you.
I swear to God. Yeah, I guess another thing in the summary would be he started creating YouTube content in 2013 during the alpha and beta of Final Fantasy XIV. Since then, he has become a Twitch partnered broadcaster and now hosts X amount of subs and X amount of followers on these platforms.
All right.
He also
Excellent.
gained some weight at some point between the picture in the bottom and the live thing we're doing now.
I think it's just the beard. Right then, you kind of had, like, it looked like you were trying to grow a beard, but you're like, I kind of don't like the facial hair, so you shaved it really short, so it's really shaded, like you have a 5 o'clock shadow.
No, that's not. That's
Is that just
not
bad
it.
shading?
That's bad shading. Yeah.
Okay. All right. We'll say that. We'll go with it. All right. Happy. Next question I have for you, and we kind of have a quick bio now. Now I want to know, how did all of this really just start out with you playing Final Fantasy XIV, making videos, streaming? How'd you just dive into all that?
I hate that the story involves 1.0. I really hate that I have to bring that up.
Did you make videos for 1.0?
No. See, I always wanted to make videos when I was back in high school. So much so to the point where when I got a MacBook as a present in my junior year of high school, I would face the shitty MacBook camera towards my screen and record myself playing Kingdom Hearts 2.
Thank you.
Those were some of the earliest videos I ever... They are no longer in existence, but those were some of the earliest videos I ever made. I'd say it all actually started back in like 2003, 2004 when I started playing Final Fantasy XI. Because if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be obsessed with Final Fantasy MMOs in the first place. Played that for 7 years, on and off. Between them, played World of Warcraft, played a bunch of free-to-play MMOs that I don't... The list is too long to discuss how many Korean free-to-play MMOs I played in that time. And then Final Fantasy XIV is coming out in 2010. Oh yeah, man! Look at these graphics. Oh yeah, look at all they look just like from Final Fantasy XI. And
Square
oh
can't
my
fuck up
God,
a game.
this game is horrible. What have they done? Why am I playing it 6 hours a day for 2 months straight just to get one level 50?
Gosh. No, I'm glad I didn't know the game even existed, to be honest with you, until it rebirthed. So
That's for the better.
yeah. Okay, so you started playing, and then the game got good, right? They came out. It started to be actually a good game.
Well, the beta for I remember playing the beta I think in February or March of 2013. And that was right around the time I was working in New York City as internal tech support for a company that is now bought out by Vodafone. Vodafone fired like 2/3 of the employees. I was one of them.
Uh,
Massive cutbacks. So in the time between March and June, which June was a big turning point, I was just like, whatever, I guess I'll just stream whenever I have time, or I'll just make YouTube videos like once a week or something like that. And I was like, oh my god, 100 people have seen my video. Wow. How the hell did 100 people find this video? Then I had one video where 1,000 people saw it. I was like, what the hell? How did 1,000 people find this video? It's funny though, because then, several months later, I got into Ragnarok Online 2.
hmm.
This is where things got dark. Things were dark for me. In that
I loved
time.
Ragnarok 1. I saw 2,
Yeah.
and I was like, man, that might have some sort of
No.
possibility of being good, but
There was no hope for that game. And I actually had a video that had like 18,000 views, just basically saying that it was one of the worst games I'd ever played. and and so, but while I was playing that game, I met an individual known as Melissa. You may know her better as Roar Snacks.
Mhm.
We became friends at that time, and I told her how I always wanted to be, a YouTube content creator and a Twitch broadcaster. I'd always thought about doing it, but never had the equipment to do it growing up. So she thought the idea was, a good idea. She supported the thought of it. And at the same time, I was also following a broadcaster by the name of Athene Live, who was mostly known for being best paladin in the world. Played all the games. Played all the games.
Which is
Yeah.
where that picture's from, by the way. Is that
Yes.
video? Yeah, talking about him.
Yes, that video mentions Athene Live.
Yeah.
And at this point in his career, he was doing basically nonstop charity work. And while I was at work, when I still worked in the city, I had been following it. I was subbing to him. I was donating to him, whatever, just for the charity. And at one point, he did something, and I'm glad you don't have this, and I swear to God, if you have a picture of this. He
can
was
find
he was holding auditions for a night stream. And the night stream was to generate, to get subscriptions and donations for the charity overnight. And I auditioned for it. And in that audition, I put on a Kermit the Frog mask, and I was showing my nipples back when that wasn't against the Twitch terms of service. This was before Twitch made it so you can't take your shirt off as part of the Twitch terms of service. And I was doing the Kermit the Frog impression, trying to get to 10 subs during my 5-minute period to see if I could become a night streamer. And I didn't get to 10, but they still gave me the opportunity. The first night I did it, 151 subscribers. Now, that all $5 went to charity, and it was matched 8 times by the USAID, so every sub was equivalent to $40. And then I did it again and got 251 subs the second time, and Athene, as part of, his appreciation, hooked me up with a YouTube contract with Curse Gaming, also known as Union for Gamers. And throughout those times, Mel stayed up with me late for these charity events, trying to keep me awake and just trying to get people to help out. Also, our buddy Jim, who was also big with helping Athene Live at the time, he was coming by. He was talking with us. He was also modifying certain things on Athene's stream and whatnot. We were just trying to raise as much money as possible.
Mhm.
And I'd say that's when I literally looked at it, and I spent about a month working on content after that, and I saw, I could do this. I can do YouTube, and then maybe transition it over to Twitch at some point. And I literally dropped everything I was doing and made that my career choice.
That's
And
great, man.
that is, and I don't recommend that, by the way. I recommend having a full-time job and then getting into streaming, because it makes things way easier than trying to do it from the bottom up. It's way riskier and way less security in that case.
Yeah.
So don't drop out of school, or don't look for a job and just say I'm only going to do YouTube and Twitch. I don't recommend doing that, because that made it very stressful on me.
Yeah, it's really tough, I think, to even think about not having an actual secure job and then going out and doing streaming full time. And I think that's something they said a lot at TwitchCon too, right? They don't recommend doing it at all. It's worked for a few people, but there's a few people who are in the NBA. And
Yeah, there are definitely a few people in the NBA.
yeah, it's so The chances you have of getting successful with Twitch and not dying from starvation by the time you get there is very low. Unless if you have someone supporting you behind you, and I think that's the only real good situation for you. But all right, well, cool. Real quick, let's move back over to the questions. The next question is, okay, so you started streaming and making videos at the same time.
Well, I'd say it was like mixed before that because, like I said, I had those really low quality YouTube videos back in the day, and I did a lot of those. I also streamed on Twitch, like I streamed SimCity, I streamed Minecraft for a little while, but I wouldn't say I took it seriously until maybe a month before Final Fantasy XIV came out, maybe a month and a half, where I basically just said, you know what, I'm going to make a YouTube video, tell people I'm streaming, see if anyone wants to come by, and I was playing Final Fantasy VI, I believe. And I think like 150 people came by, and I was like, holy shit.
Wow.
How did 150 people come by? Wow.
That's nice.
Yeah, so I would say YouTube led into Twitch. Like, I had my YouTube contract way before I became Twitch partnered.
I gotcha. And another interesting thing that I heard from that story is basically that you met Mel before you started all this stuff.
Yeah, I had the aspirations, but had no like actual goal in it or any sort of foothold in it when I met her.
Because I had no clue. You guys were basically an entity and just there and working together way before you even started getting bigger in Twitch.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I was kind of I kind of didn't make it official that we were going out for a pretty long time, so people just knew us as good friends. But I mean, as far as I'm considered, like right from the get-go, like we were together. Like looking back, I would say like, yeah, that was just me being a young dumb fool.
Young dumb fool. 2 years ago, I was so young back then.
It feels like a totally different me 2 years ago.
All right, so we all know you by Mr. Happy. And you've said this story a few times, but I actually don't know the story, and there's probably a few people in here who don't know the story. And give us an interesting story, of course, right? It's very interesting, of why you are Mr. Happy.
I hate this story so much. This is the worst story. So I had a friend growing up named Jason, one of the nicest people I've ever met. And we were playing some alien game on his computer where it was almost like a survival game where you just stood in the middle and killed wave after wave of aliens, and I have no idea what it was called. But I needed a name for that game, and I was like, I don't know what the hell to call my character in this game. I didn't have like an internet handle I went by yet. And I was like, and he was just like, how about this? Señor Feliz Mono. That means Mr. Happy Monkey in Spanish. And I went, I'll take the Mr. Happy part. All right, Mr. Happy, done. Which was ironic because I was completely raging at the game. So it was that's why he suggested it in the first place, because I was just raging so hard at the game. And yeah, so my name actually came from being the opposite of what I actually was at the time, and it was also Spanish originally. So worst story NA. Okay,
so let's talk about it a little bit more then. So would you say now it fits you more properly than it did then? Or you still rage out when you wipe on an A4? I hulk out still sometimes. Okay. But even when I'm hulking out, I'm trying to laugh about it. That's I guess the big difference now. I mean, sometimes it gets to the point where I'm just like completely broken mentally, and I'm just like, oh my god, please. Have you ever like gotten so angry you had to you cut stream and you're just like, I'm done, out of here? I've had to do it, I think, a handful of times, like 3 or 4 times. I don't think it's never been from I'm doing this fight and it frustrates me. It's usually from some outside complication, whether it be with family or friends, that like happens in the middle of the stream, and I'm just like, I need to end the stream. Yeah. All right. Because one of my favorite things of watching people do speedrun runs is when they fuck up a mechanic and they turn off the system and quit the stream. Yeah, those are always. I always hope they won't do that, but it makes for a hell of an event in the chat when it does. Exactly. All the salt shakers. All right. So one more question about your name. If you had a chance to change your name without having to do any work and keeping all of the same branding, would you? I think that's impossible to keep all the same branding. Let's just say it was possible. Let's just say it was. It would probably be... Definitely wouldn't be my first Final Fantasy XI character's name.
Funny story about that. My first character for Final Fantasy XI, they forced me to delete it and change the name because the name was, and I was 12 years old at the time, I Did Your Mom.
Nice.
So yeah, great first entrance into Final Fantasy.
I've seen way
11.
worse names than that in Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah, well, I mean, I did your mom, literally just no spaces because I couldn't do that in 11.
Just straightforward.
And I got sent to the Gordion jail at level 7 on my thief.
Nice.
So that's just how it happened. If I could change it, the only thing, maybe can I change it to Zarth?
If you really like Zarf, do you like Zarf a lot?
I mean, I liked it when at TwitchCon they said the original name for Twitch was supposed to be Zarth.
I really don't think this Twitch would have blown up under the name of Zarf.
ZarthCon.
Yeah, and people just couldn't take it seriously. How could you take a website seriously named Zarf when it's about streaming? I don't know. It's a good idea. I like the idea when he was talking about it's like some alien planet where people are coming together and they're all playing games and everything. But at the same time,
Zarth.
Did they give a good name why they chose Twitch? Was it because people had Twitches or
Twitch reactions? Like they would watch people play games, and whenever something would happen suddenly, they'd have a Twitch like they'd have a quick reaction to it, like a Twitch reaction.
Okay, that makes sense. All right,
Yeah.
All right. So you're saying Zarf, and you're going with it, and you're sticking with it.
We're going with Zarth.
All right, the day that you can change everything to all your branding, everything.
Sorry, Zarth 1227. My bad.
1227. Okay, good. Someone already has Zarf.
Yeah.
Already there. All right.
Done.
Let's. There is actually a couple relevant questions that I feel would be nice to just go ahead and ask.
Were those all irrelevant questions?
No. I mean, from viewers. Okay, that was all my interest questions.
Okay.
People have other interests in me. Let's see. This one will be answered later. And actually, every single question that is asked in this super relevant question section, it has been answered almost.
Nice.
I know what you guys want to know. I feel pretty proud of myself, right?
I'm proud of you, Frosty.
Thank you. I really want to know, like, if you were my dad, would you like give me a pat on the head and say good job, son, or would you just say I expected this of you?
I would be in the middle of playing a video game, and I would turn back like, "Good job."
Good
and
job.
I'd just go back to playing. I'm like the father who watches sports and is like, "Yeah, great, fantastic."
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Even though you're 4 years younger than me, Mr. Happy.
Yeah, I mean, my friend has has an uncle who's a year younger than him, so.
No, that makes sense.
I know, but it's still a weird thing to say.
Yeah.
This is my uncle. He's a year younger than me.
Yeah, it's some people in the family just want to keep pumping out the babies. So there you go.
There you go.
All right. So the next segment I have for the show really is about being a public figure and playing the game, and kind of how that all really interacts with your, I guess, enjoyment of everything. And so you're pretty much, all right, I'm going to say you're the second. Let's say you're the second biggest Final Fantasy 14 figure. We're going to say MTQ's bigger, right?
Okay, yeah. Agreed.
All right. Mel is bigger. We'll go with that. Mel is bigger.
Roar Snacks.
Rar Snacks.
Specifically. There
Rar Snacks. Okay, Rar Snacks is much bigger than you, so you're number 2. And so being number 2 is kind of, it's hard on you sometimes. You get recognized all the time. I'm assuming you do at least. And so how much does your video and streaming presence really affect how you play the game? Like, do you have any kind of negative effect from it, or is it all positive?
I would say all it does is it just causes me, like, people think I don't get burned out of 14. That's totally not true. I do get burned out. I get burned out of any game if I play it for long enough. I mean, even 11, when I played it for 7 years, I had to take breaks. And some of those breaks were some of the greatest months of my life. Just not be needing to wake up at 4 in the morning. It's like, oh, the boss spawned? Okay, good. I can do it for 3 hours while I get ready for school. Yeah. So I'd say that because I can play for a few hours on stream and not be forced to do like tons of grinding off stream, it makes my experience of the game enjoyable, like to a higher degree, because I'm not sitting there alone in my room, leveling my ninja through the roulettes or fates. I at least have people to talk to and interact with and answer questions. The thing is because I play it at that rate, I tend to not play it so much outside of raiding when I'm not streaming, unless it's like I need to prepare for a video or something. Mm-hmm. So it's a lot of business that goes into it. Like, I know I need to play X amount of hours to get this video done or whatever not. But I'm still having fun while I'm playing it. I'm still trying to actually improve. And enjoy the game. It's not like it's gone stale for me. It's just that I look at every minute I play the game as this minute needs to be productive.
Okay. So basically, it's kind of the same, except for it's different. You just look at it like this is I have to actually lay this out and record this stuff, and I'm streaming for people, and this is actually something I have to do. But I enjoy doing what I have to do. Almost is that
there? Yeah,
Okay.
that sounds like a pretty good way to put it.
All right? Yeah. Okay. Well, cool. So when you're out playing in the game, you're doing dungeons. You do regular dungeons all the time. What's the average response you get from players, and how often do you actually get a response out of players?
So I actually have a thing where I don't say hello in dungeons because I don't want people to necessarily either. It's not that I don't want people to say thank you or anything like that, but there's a rift with people. I don't want to be given every player accommodation because of who I am. I don't want to generate that immediate response. Two, I don't want to see a rift in the party, like someone who is a fan, someone who isn't a fan, because guess what? These two people probably got along perfectly fine. I'm not trying to become the medium between them, and that makes them hate each other for the entire dungeon. And three, sometimes it just distracts people. Sometimes people get performance anxiety. Sometimes people focus more on the fact that they're playing with me than they're actually playing their job. So the general reaction is, are you the real Mr. Happy? And then either, positive response or negative response. I don't try to generate that. I just try to play the game and enjoy it and not make people hate each other for no reason.
Okay, so when you don't say anything at all, do you have a pretty high success rate of not being noticed and kind of just running through the dungeon?
About a 40% success rate. At some point, almost always, somebody asks me the famous, "Are you the Mr. Happy?" And I give them a quick "Yes, sir, ma'am."
You say "sir" or "ma'am" afterwards?
I say "sir" / "ma'am."
Okay,
both.
I got you.
And then whatever they say, I just reply to it. If it's trolling, I just do a smiley face or something.
Right.
Or if it's somebody saying, "Thank you, I like your videos," I say "thank you."
Have you ever had a situation where you were just you had it and you just wanted to just type out all of your anger towards one of the people that are trolling you? And
No, in a dungeon, it's like, this will be done in 20 minutes. I don't care.
Exactly. Oh gosh, that's when I get in. I don't usually get in heated arguments with people in chat. I usually just stop talking, and eventually, I'm talking in chat when I'm doing a dungeon. The 3 other people with me. They say something stupid, I just keep going, and I'm the same way. I don't want to restart the dungeon. It's kind of annoying. Yeah. All right, so kind of going into that just a little bit more, it's a little bit different, I guess, is when you were doing Savage, it was kind of a different experience, I guess, for you, right? Because you were going pretty hard at getting Savage down.
Oh, yeah.
And I can't remember, you weren't streaming that at first, right?
I didn't stream that for, I think, 5 weeks. I didn't stream Savage Progression.
Okay. Did you, when you got it down, you were just like, I'm going to start streaming it now, or was it like?
Well, I started streaming 1 through 3. I think about 5 weeks in.
Okay.
And then 4 was still off limits. It hadn't been beaten yet at the time. And even after it got beat, there were only 2 kills overall. And so our free company's policy was, out of respect for the people, competing for world rankings or trying to figure the fight out themselves and who enjoy that, who don't want to see the fight and then all of a sudden go, well, they're doing that, so let's do this.
Right.
Out of respect, it was asked that we don't stream A4 Savage. Ultimately, video went live 2 weeks later. A bunch of other groups had cleared it. Permissions were granted. And that's when I began streaming all of Savage.
Okay. Was that because you usually don't not stream Final Fantasy. When you play Final Fantasy, you're streaming it. Was that kind of a weird experience for you? Did it feel kind of good? Did it?
Say it one more time. I think I'm misinterpreting.
All right. So when you weren't, usually when you play Final Fantasy, every time you play Final Fantasy, you're recording it, you're streaming it. This was one of the first times in a long time, I'm guessing, that you were playing the game and you weren't actually streaming. Did that feel kind of relaxing, or was that
Not at all. Because now, here's the thing. I'm streaming because I'm playing because I like progression. I like to have my head bashed against the wall until I can't take it anymore. It's stressful, but ultimately that relief at the end when it's all over, I live for that moment. That's regardless of YouTube, Twitch. I've always loved that, of just tackling a challenge head on until I couldn't take it anymore. So I'm actually, and if anything, playing for fun. Of course, like eventually, guides, videos are going to come out from this content. And, for me, I like being at the front running of, beating this content. So that way I can help people who are working on it, who may be stuck on it. So it's a little bit of, it's still work. But it's also like, that is where my deepest enjoyment comes from in terms of actually playing the game with just blocking everything else out is in content like Savage.
Okay, that's actually kind of interesting. So right now that's what you have to do. That's the awesome hardcore stuff. Are you kind of like going to get to a point to where you're just, I'm done, I'm not really that interested because that's not there until 3.2?
No, so what I do when we hit content droughts is I still play the game every day for a few hours. I switch to play something else that I'm interested in. Last couple of days, I've been playing Devilian, for example. Wildstar comes out this week. Blade and Soul comes out next month. I'm not beyond, playing another game for a period of time while I wait for the next patch. I still will log in and progress my characters just at a much slower rate because I'm just playing 14 at that point. Because I know I still have stuff to do, and there are things I want to get done. I'm just not willing to sit there and grind it out for hours and hours and hours and hours at this point because I'm a little burnt out after doing that for several months.
I'm completely with you, and I think that's actually something that players need to kind of realize. You have the ability to max out everything and go crazy, but you don't have to. If you're not enjoying it, I mean, don't do it. And just kind of do something else.
It took me until I think 2.51 to get my Paladin to 50. Let's use that as an example.
Yeah. And playing it every single day, that's a long time. So, all right. So, coming kind of more into the public atmosphere of everything, I mean, you get different reactions from people on Reddit. Let's say, Guildworks, Lodestone, everywhere. You get all kinds of reactions from everybody. And they all have different opinions. There's good and bad. How has that kind of affected you over the years of streaming?
I'd say when I first started, it affected me a lot in a negative way. Like, remember when I said my name, Mr. Happy, came from me being literally the opposite?
Right.
That didn't go away. That wasn't. By the time I had started, I still had that, and I didn't really know how to handle having people that greatly despised me. Like, I could understand, like, not everyone's gonna like you, but like, it was like extremely hateful stuff, and I'd never been subjected to that in my entire life. So I didn't respond to it well. Especially, I'd say for the first actually year and a half of YouTube content, it was more of just trying to ignore it, and then eventually, like, there would be an incident where I was just like, I can't take it anymore, you know. But since about January, I've been doing more work on myself as a person to overcome that. It's still not perfect. I still have incidents where, like, somebody will say something negative, but I won't refute it with, harsh words or anything. I'll refute it with, this is my opinion, and, it's based on this, this, and this, and that's what it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's still not easy, though. Like, it's not easy, like, being the center of hate in any way, even if you are also the center of something that people like. It's just, it's weird it's hard for me to handle as an individual. It's something I am still working on.
Yeah, I'm guessing that's a lot of people. Everyone has to deal with that at some point, I guess, especially when you get into that position where you're starting to get a lot more viewers, a lot more people coming in and talking to you, and people know you. I mean, anyone who's Googled a guide, I think, knows who you are.
It's funny. It's so funny you mentioned that. Back when I used to do XIV Reborn, we had an episode with Bayonne and Kamate on it, and Hivinir when he still worked at Square Enix. And I remember Kamate specifically saying, some people, we're so happy that people make videos for the game. I mean, some people make too many videos, like they literally have a video for everything. And I just remember Mr. Byrne moving the camera over to my face. I'm just smiling like.
So, another funny fact is that for some reason people think that you and Miztech hate each other.
That's always a fun one.
So, is there even like an origin for that at all?
We both make guides, and people fight over whose guide they like better, and that's it. They think automatically that means that people hate each other. That
you're just like, so basically we hate each other, right?
Yeah, I hate you.
I hate you. What the fuck?
I'm fucking out.
Dude, I'm out of my own show. Don't
There
watch
you
this
go.
guy. Out of here.
I'll do the rest of the show. You get the fuck out of here.
I'm gone. I deserve to be on somewhere that actually recognizes my true skill of being the Stephen Colbert of Final Fantasy.
Didn't say that with much confidence.
I didn't have much. I'm sorry. I lost confidence in there. Have you seen his late night show that he's been doing recently?
I've seen it before, but I don't watch TV usually.
Yeah. I saw a couple of them and it was kind of good. And I feel bad that I don't watch shows on TV anymore. So.
That's what Twitch is for.
Yeah, that's what Twitch is for. Kind of took over a lot of my entertainment. That and Netflix. All right. Well, cool. Let's see what questions we have here real quick.
I thought we had to do 2 hours of your questions and then 2 hours of...
I was thinking, I'm trying to get, that's why I have the super relevant question section. And that's what Adagio I was hoping would do. Was kind of put the relevant questions just in there that were like, oh my gosh, I got to plug this in. This is the perfect time to ask this question. And we'll, feel kind of derailing things later on if I ask it. But, all right, so I got one question. One person got privilege from this. Locks2291. Happy, are you a major fan, viewer of any particular streamers or content creators?
I get Locks. Are you here? Do you mean 14 in particular, or do you just mean any content creator? Because I watch a lot.
Let's go any content creator.
Any content creator. All right. Nightblue is a big one for me. He's a massive League of Legends streamer, and I love that he does his best to keep it. Even though I don't keep my stream very family friendly, he keeps his stream family friendly. He's informative. He's like a League of Legends version of me. So I look up to him as a broadcaster, who has made it that far. Towley, as a veteran MMO, somebody threw their hammer up before I even got to say it. As a veteran MMO player, and one of the OG Twitch broadcasters, another huge one. He's been a huge inspiration to me over the years, seeing how he interacts with his viewers over Twitch, and I still have a lot to learn from him. Speedrunners, I love almost all of them. It's just so entertaining. It's a great genre. In 14, I mean, that's an easy one. There's so many 14 broadcasters that I'll tune into and enjoy, both members of the Dream Network, things like MogTalk, Limit Break Radio, they have Miztech, Xeno,
Thank you for the plug. I appreciate it.
Yeah. I don't watch, here's the thing, I don't watch a lot of the standard big streamers on Twitch. I'll stop by occasionally, someone like Phantom Lord, for 5 minutes, once every couple of months, or, but I appreciate what broadcasters put into, what they do and how they care about their viewers. That's what I care about most. Is I love watching broadcasters that sit there and interact with their viewers, which is why I do that way as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's also, I find, really hard to find time to do that stuff just with myself, and so I'm really surprised how much time you could actually find to go out there and watch Twitch channels. But
I try to segment it, and I've tried to make more time for it because I have a lot more. Since going to PAX and TwitchCon, I've met a lot more people, and they're great people, and they're good. They're great broadcasters as well. And I want to make more time to talk to them on Twitter or to go to their streams and make them bring up their day on Twitch or anything like that. I don't know. Yeah. I try to make more time for it.
Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to do too, because it's important for us to kind of be in the community and talk to each other, and not just be completely separate people. Because Final Fantasy XIV is kind of a tight knit streaming community right now.
Very, very tight knit.
Yeah, I think pretty much almost everybody knows everybody. Almost. All right.
Almost. If you don't know this guy, figure it out.
Yeah, figure out if you don't know Mr. Happy over here. This is the first time you've come to the Final Fantasy XIV streaming area.
Did I point in the right direction?
I didn't even see you point. I just think you waved your finger back and forth. I don't know.
I was trying to point to you. I have a feeling I pointed in the wrong direction. Yeah. Yep, that's the wrong way.
If you'll notice guy over here to the side. It's okay. I know what your intention was now, so I actually kind of appreciate it. All right. So let's go a little bit more into the stuff that you've created. You've created a lot of different content, and I literally mean you have a video for basically everything. If Yoshi probably goes and walks on the street, there might be a video out there about how he walked and how his day was and everything else.
That would be I think I could go to jail for that.
Could you?
If I didn't have his permission, yeah.
Well, you don't have to show images of him. You just have to talk about him. Just say, hey, he was walking and it looked like he had a little bit of swagger. He must have had a good day.
Well, I mean, he always kind of walks with some swagger, so that's understandable.
What's actually kind of funny, a little bit off topic here, is that how much jewelry he has on him compared to everyone else that he works with. He's just loaded up. And I thought maybe that's just kind of a thing that people like to do, and people in Japan maybe like to do. But no one else in his company does that. Maybe it's just him.
He's just a cool guy. I think he just wears it all to so he can play with them on his hands when he's super stressed.
Yeah.
Like, just like, please, I don't. 3.1. They're all on the forums. Like, when's it coming? When's it coming? Please, I can't.
Come on.
Just the whole time.
Yeah. All right. So let's talk about some of the content you've created. And I know not all of this would be completely credited, and I know you'll say, oh, so-and-so's helped me with this, so-and-so's helped me with this, but you are a pillar in these organizations, like the Dream Team. So I want to know what inspired the Dream Team to actually get together. What's its origins? How did it get created?
Well, your assumption at the beginning couldn't have been more correct. So the Dream Team was something that both Mel and I, not necessarily Dream itself, but the idea of a team was something we had both spoken about before, but she was the one who really encouraged me to do it at first. And I said no. I said no because I didn't think I could offer a team enough resources, like as a broadcaster. Like, I don't think I know enough yet about broadcasting. I don't think I'm a big enough broadcaster yet to the point where I can make a team and, help these people grow and succeed and, teach them. Several months down the line, sometime after, I believe during January, towards the end of the month, Mel asks again, I think Mel asks again and says, do you want to make this team? And at that point, I was like full-blown yes. Like, I don't even remember. I might have even said her, I think I'm ready now. But it was her idea in the first place, realistically. So, she began putting it together. We both picked the people that we wanted on it based on our previous relationships with them and the type of broadcasters we were looking for. And we grabbed, some friends, some other, big names, like Mystic. That's the thing. Like, me and Mystic hate each other. Yeah, we're on the same team. We hate each other.
Right.
Doesn't matter. And that's it. We just put a name to it. We all came together, came up with the name. And I remember being somebody who really wanted to do something along the lines of, this is the Dream Team. Like, it was because I said it because it was super lame. Sorry. And I was like, we're never going to go with this. And then we went with it, and people really liked it. So we stuck with it. And then, from that point on, Pook and Mel did a lot of work behind the scenes. I was still mostly just a broadcaster on the network, while a lot of the important work was getting done by them, whether it be websites, setting up the forums, actually arranging team events, all that stuff. I have almost no say in whatsoever. Not that I don't have a say, but I wasn't the forerunner of organizing it or anything like that.
All right. Actually, this was a question that's kind of relevant. Someone in chat here was asking what you actually thought of Mel before, or not Mel, Ms. Tech, before she came onto the Dream Team.
This is another YouTube content creator. Yeah, something really messed up happened at Fan Festival. I really didn't like this. A lot of people came up to me and, asked for pictures or for me to sign something at Fan Festival, which, by the way, is a really weird feeling to have someone ask you to sign something for them as as a small YouTube content creator and Twitch streamer. But one person on the second day walked up to me and said, I really like your videos, whatever, but they specifically said that Ms. Tech sucks. And I was like, don't say that. I just told them, that if you think that's supposed to make me feel better in any way, no. In fact, anything that makes me angry. So what I did for the rest of the day after that, if somebody came up to me and they did the whole thing where they said before they left, I would say, be sure to support your other YouTube content creators. Specifically mentioning Miztech after the event earlier. But of course, I would also bring up, Mithri, Miztech, and myself were pretty much the three I brought up the most. I brought up Xeno a few times and whatnot. But I specifically, for the rest of the day, said that because I didn't want to hear that ever again. Because it was disrespectful to other people that, were in a position that I was in at one point or another. Or, it's just, I had nothing against her. I didn't know her personally, though. Yeah. That was it.
I mean, it takes a crap load of work to make videos and go plan all that stuff out. Like every time I think about it, I'm like, yeah, I'm encouraged. I'm going to go do this. I'm going to make a video, a small guide. It's take like 5 minutes to, just a 5-minute guide. It'll be real quick. It's easy. Jesus, I just put the stuff down and I walk away. I'm like, I don't think I'll pick this back up. It's just so much work. And so when I see someone actually go out there and put the effort of making a video, and it's not just a video of like a recording of a stream, it's actually a video where they kind of cut things and made zoom ins and put different videos together. I'm like, well, geez, that guy probably spent at least 24 hours to 50 hours making this one video that's 10 minutes long. Or I guess that could be a little bit long, but I don't know.
It depends on the video. Like, I can say, like, a bestiary takes maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours. A guide probably takes close to 8 to 15 on average. Certain ones take as much as 20. It depends, though, because it's not just... I used to wing it back in the day. I was the... Oh, God, when I first started, I had so many bad tendencies. You know what I used to do when I first started? I would record a video from beginning to end in one sitting with no breaks. And if I screwed up at any point in the entire 10-minute recording, I started over.
Why would you do that?
I have no idea.
Like, I don't know anything about making videos, but I know that there's no way in hell I could do that.
I stopped doing that around October of 2013 because I was like, why am I a fucking idiot? Why am I doing this?
Gosh, yeah. I'm lucky if I can get like 20 seconds without me breaking like what I'm supposed to say in the video, or just completely messing it up, or the sound going in and out, like trying to get the levels balanced out and actually sound relatively good. That takes a while. It's not just doing it for... How long was your videos? Like, what's the longest video you did in one shot?
Turn 5, I think. I think Turn 5, my initial Turn 5 guide, might be the longest... Well, I mean, that depends, because, like, now I have videos where it's me just playing the game, like, and giving basic tips while I play through the game. Those are very clearly the longest videos where that's going to happen, but for something that's supposed to, where I go back and I edit the video and I cut to certain parts at certain times with, graphics and whatnot, I think it was Turn 5. I'm pretty sure it was Turn 5.
How long was Turn 5? I'm sure I've watched it.
So I think I did Turn 5 in 2 parts without thinking back to it too much. I think I did it where the first however many minutes were the guide itself, and I included a commentary kill in the second half of the video.
Okay.
So I think the video clocked in at 27 minutes.
Oh, jeez.
Yes.
Well, I'm glad you don't do that anymore, because I'm sure you would
I'm glad I don't do that anymore.
You would definitely have to change your name to Mr. Pissed Off.
27 minutes without ever messing up. I think I might have done that one in 2 separate ones. Like, I think I did the first 15 minutes straight and the second, 12 minutes straight, maybe. But it was still 27 minutes of just... no, not good.
All right. So, going back to Dream Team. So when you were starting to collect the members, what are your decisions when you're like, hey, I see this person, they're streaming, what makes you want to get them on your team?
A big thing, and this is kind of like the foundation of of my stream, is, I say our because it's immediately, Mel and myself. So like I default to our.
Fair enough.
And it was something, wanted to build a community. That was the first thing that I looked at. People who, they weren't just streaming the game. They would take their chat and they would like start worrying about, can we do this together? Can we do that together? I hope you come back. Like, they were just trying to build something more than, hey, I want to go live and have people watch me. After that, it was also some people we knew personally. We had met at Fan Festival. We had gotten to know them a little bit better and had seen the way that they interacted and their passion specifically for the game. And then, of course, we wanted a bit of variety, so, we had, again, luckily we had friends that did all kinds of things. Like, Miztech was a shoo-in. Like, she was absolutely, as somebody else who's a huge influence in the community. Rin, great art, great personality, loves her viewers. And then, you have Sly, who, again, was a hilarious guy. Fold, who, I've known since RO2 as well. I met Foldosaurus in RO2. When Collision existed in RO2, that was when I met Fold. And, I could go down the list, everybody and the reasons, but the general gist of it is there needed to be something that clicked very specifically with the way they handled their stream and the way they handled their community, conducting themselves in a certain way. And ultimately, I'm for the most part, I'd say really pleased with the results of what
Yeah.
people have grown and accomplished. I mean, since the Dream Team has come into existence, we had myself and Miztech as partnered streamers, but since then we've had Raze become a partnered streamer. We've had we've had Rin become a partnered streamer. Sly and Pook have both seen massive increases in their stream. Fold has seen a lot more popularity in his stream. I'm missing a name, and I keep playing with things on my desk when I shouldn't in the middle of a show.
Are you missing a name in a dream team?
I feel like I'm
Forrest?
missing.
Milo? No.
Milo's did really good as well. Joining Dream Team. There was just it's crazy to see how people came together and grew something that all of us, I'd say even I kind of just expected, oh, we'll have a team, tee hee hee,
Yeah.
we'll be
Yeah.
on a team, tee hee hee hee.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Rare instantly says she didn't realize that's how you thought the team came together.
That's how I looked at everyone on the team. I mean, we've had discussions about like how it was going to come together. I'm overcomplicating it a little bit when it comes to the team, but the way I look at everyone who's a part of the team now is, it was great. I'm so happy.
No, that is an amazing team you have right now. I mean, I would say that everyone in there has a huge value to the Final Fantasy XIV streaming community, and I definitely congratulate you on getting that team together. You and Raw both.
Congratulate her. She's the
Yeah.
one. Okay, so she got me partnered. So
Okay.
as far as she even got me partnered. Like I didn't even get partnered. Like she's the one who got me partnered as far as I'm concerned.
All right. Thank you, Raw. And I would love to have her on the show one day, but I know that's not her thing. So we'll leave it at that. Maybe one day I can at least go on her show.
One day.
One day.
But I'm not the one who decides that, so I won't say anything.
Yeah. I've gotten a soft invite. I got a soft invite, guys. It's okay. All right. So the next thing you kind of do with the Dream Team is the State of the Realm show, which it's a small podcast. It's not too big. I mean, you kind of get a few. Sometimes you get double-digit viewers in there. So, where did you get the idea for State of the Realm, and kind of what is your current drive for the show?
Well, back in the day, I used to do a podcast called XIV Reborn, hosted by Gamebreaker, co-hosts alongside Michael Magic Man Byrne and Gary, of course. And eventually, Gary was working on the site itself, so he left the podcast. It was mostly just Mr. Byrne and myself. So when that wasn't possible anymore, Mr. Byrne having real life obligations that would prevent it, then there was a point where everyone's asking me, are you going to do your own? And I was like, I don't think I'm capable of doing a show. Like, I'm not good at being timely and putting together, a script before a specific day in particular. Like, I mostly just say, okay, this is what I'm working on today. It's not evident. Having something done before a certain day, a deadline, I'm terrible at. So there was eventually a point where, Mel had suggested it a million times. And almost all the ideas that I was basically Mel suggesting it and me 6 months later going, yeah, let's do it. and me being like, should have listened to her earlier. Yeah, probably would have been a good idea. And we just started working on it. She did almost all the script work for most of it, taking the ideas that like I wanted to put into the show and actually making a coherent script. Nowadays, we kind of wing it a little bit more because it's not like there's a crazy amount of news. Like, I can always just throw together show notes. Luckily, Sly now is seasoned and knows, like, if I see this, that's all I need. He doesn't need, like, the fully thing. She made overlays for it. And then I would host it. And that was pretty much how it was. That's how most of the channel kind of was.
So what's the current drive for the show? Are you just kind of going out there and you're wanting whatever comes out that people are interested in, let's make a show on it, or?
Well, that, and I just want to get together with Sly and talk about 14, and any of our other guests. Obviously, Ethis comes by the show once a month. We've had some other guests that have been very popular. I mean, one of them was like, I don't know, he hosts this other podcast. I don't know. I think I had a conversation with him where I said I hated him and he should get off his own show.
Yeah, get. Why do you even make a show? This is kind of stupid. Yeah, I would have told that guy the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
So, in other words, we had MogTalk on the show.
MogTalk, and it was kind of funny, the whole situation. I'm going to tell you this. You might not know all this. When we were starting that show, I think we were maybe 5 to 10 shows in on making our show. I mean, we're actually on around the same episode of shows.
Yes, I'm aware because I got a message, I think, by episode 4 that said you guys are just copying MogTalk. I was like, I'm sorry that there's not allowed to be multiple shows that talk about Final Fantasy 14.
And that's funny. Like, I saw that happening, and I was like, man, now I have Mr. Happy out there doing shows. And it's like the same. And LBR is around the same number we are, too. Shout out to LBR and those guys.
Yeah, and LBR also only did it once a month back then.
Yeah, that's because that's the reason. Because they did it once a month. But they've been doing it forever.
Yeah.
And so when that show was actually, when you guys were like, hey, let's come on the show and have you guys on there and let's talk about the new player experience. I was like, yeah, we were planning out a show for that. And then, I don't know, you guys, it came into the thought process that we already had that show. And so, like, the entire time, yeah, you guys have had that show. You know what you're talking about. I'm like, we just thought about it. So we came on and we just did it anyways with what we were thinking about.
That's all you need.
That was a good show, though, by the way. I enjoyed that.
I enjoyed that show as well.
Yeah. Poor Gilly's never going to go in that show again. It's okay. Maybe he'll get bored of Halo. So, let's go into the next one, because, God, you do a lot of stuff, and so I'm trying to go through all of it in little pieces here.
By the way, this is the Mr. Happy of friggin' shows. Like, goes like, just ends up on a complete tangent. And
yeah, exactly.
Way longer than
it's the thing. Yeah, exactly, and that's I don't know. We do that a lot when we have the show. We start talking, and then we'll go off, and we're trying to do one little, like we're doing it again. Let's just stop. All right, we're good. We're good. We'll come back to that. We have a whole 5 hours of viewer questions to go through. So, starting translations, you were actually responsible for pretty much all of the translations. And you're not translating, but you are kind of the one organizing everything together. You work with Marco.
Yeah, before that we had Reinhardt, by the way, who is now a member of the community team over at Square Enix. Thank the Lord. He got his dream job, and, great guy. Got to meet him at Fan Festival. It was funny, at Fan Festival, I was at the speedrun section for Brayflox, and Reinhardt sees me and he goes, Apps, hi, I'm Reinhardt. I'm like, hi! And that was our only interaction the entire Fan Festival until PAX last month.
Wow.
Because he was so busy, there was no way we were going to have time to stand there and chat.
Yeah. So, that's how you came across him. All right. Yeah. How'd you come across Marco?
Marco came to us, really. Marco said, I know there's no translations going on. I'm studying Japanese, and, it would be not only great to be able to provide something to the community, but it's practice for me too, because I'm trying to better my Japanese and all that. And so I was like, sure. We also had some other people. Sig also did some translation work for us in the past as well. Also a great help. We've had other people who have come by the stream and who have just done translations in the chat as it's happening, and like we don't even have like a document set up or anything. They're just typing in the chat what's going on. Happens almost every time. And then, Marco came along, and I said, hey, man, listen, sure, let's give it a shot. We'll see how everyone, if everyone likes it, how you like it, and it's just been something that's been happening as, ever since.
All right, well, cool. Yeah, I mean, it's been great, especially the last translation worked out really well, too. And this is a side note that I thought was just kind of funny, but maybe... I looked at the document. I knew exactly where the document was from, and it popped up on Reddit. But there was... God.
I saw that, and I was like, oh no, who did this?
Yeah. But there was nothing in there saying Mr. Happy or anything else about kind of what you're doing. But you could tell it was your document that you were creating, because you're typing out, hey, this is Marco, so-and-so, so-and-so. But it was just funny that it was just up there, and it was just like, hey, we just took Mr. Happy stuff, put it here, and you guys should look at it because it's cool. But there's nothing about Mr. Happy in there.
Yeah. But I still saw... The thing is, somebody else posted my analysis of it to Reddit, and I don't know, you've just opened a very, very dark door, my friend.
Yeah, it's so funny. I don't know. It didn't really have a lot of negative reactions, right?
No, there were some. A lot of it was... That's the thing. There's something known on every subreddit, known as the Reddit circle jerk, where the topic becomes about the party involved and both sides of it with no actual resolution or any sort of meaningful conversation happening. And it's the same discussion back and forth and back and forth, and that's ultimately what any post involving me becomes in the end. And that's why I don't do things like, when I first started, I made a thread on Reddit and I would post videos to it whenever they launched, and I did that for maybe 2 or 3 days. I said I'll never post on Reddit again. that was just what it was. And but ultimately it's all that ever really comes of it, and it doesn't hurt anyone. It's just the same people going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. That's all it ever becomes.
Right. You know, it's, I guess, I have to correct myself because I just got called out pretty bad. Kerr told me it was your document. It wasn't me figuring that out. She told me before I could figure it out. And so that's exactly how I know.
Okay. All right. I'm glad you came clean on that one.
I'm glad I did too. I'm very glad. And I kind of want to harp on that with Reddit too, because when I started with MogTalk, I was like, man, I need some criticism. I need somebody to come here. I need somebody to say something to me that is actually going to give me some real criticism towards what I'm doing. And I post it on Reddit. This is exactly my show. This is what I created. Can someone tell me something good or bad about it? And then the first comment was, you can't promote yourself. This needs to be deleted. But the mods didn't care. Mods were like, yeah, you post okay amount on there. It's fine. But I just got ripped apart because I was posting my own content. And it came apart.
If somebody else posts it, it doesn't matter. But if you post it, that's it. Which is really strange because you'd think that people who want to be a part of the community, I guess it depends really on what you do to promote it. Like the way I originally approached it was bad. I literally said, I have a channel, I make videos, watch them. That was wrong. That was the wrong way to do it. But posting something and asking people for honest criticism or just wanting to be a part of a community, it doesn't make sense. Like why you're not able to do anything like that. It's just it's ridiculous.
Yeah, and it is what it is. It's hard. It's hard for the little guy, definitely, to get in there and get anything out. But that's just how it's going to be. But you got to think about it on the other way, too, I guess. And this is the only reason that I can kind of agree with it, is because if Twitch allowed it and they said, yeah, you can post your stuff, everybody would just come post all their crap and ignore everyone else. Or that wouldn't be exactly what would happen as an over-exaggeration, but it would come to be like that. There would be lots of people who only come to that Twitch to post their own stuff and advertise. And so it starts to fill up with people advertising content, and maybe that's not what they're looking for. But I still want to post my stuff on there and get criticism and find an outlet for it, and it's rough. Anyways, tangent again. Let's go back. So going on, you make translations. You do State of the Realm. You make videos on everything. Again, I'm reiterating this because it's really important people know this. You could look up you go to Mr. Happy. How many videos do you have?
1,200 and now I gotta check. Now you're asking me. I gotta know, dude. It tells me whenever I switch, but it's not telling me right now exactly how many I have. There's a way to find out. I just don't know it on such short notice.
Yeah, it's a ridiculous amount, I know for sure. I'm waiting for that number. I'm going to wait. We're going to sit here.
Oh, we're going to be... There's literally one button somewhere that tells you exactly what it is. I thought it would be under the dashboard, but I don't see a number. I know that when you log in... Oh, wait. 1,230.
1,230. Okay, yeah. And you've been doing this for 2 years?
Yeah, some of those videos date way back, like there's some of the OG videos that I mentioned before. But yeah, for 2 years pretty much. So
let's just divide that, and that's basically 2 videos a day. No, 4 videos a day, right? 2 years. No, 2 years, 2 years. Okay, 2 videos a day.
If you average them out, yeah.
Okay. So 2 videos a day, and okay, tell me what you won't make a video about first. Tell me, just go ahead and tell me. Is there anything you're just like, I can't make a video about this because I would despise it?
Crafting and gathering are things that I can only briefly make videos about, not like dedicated videos about. That's a big one. One mistake I made early on was trying to make guides for jobs I wasn't fully experienced in, so that I can't make a video about. I guess one type of video I would never do also are really small, like unlock quests. Like it depends on what kind of unlock quest it is. Like sometimes people ask, where do I unlock this feature? And it's a quick question. This NPC there. There's nothing more to it. There's nothing more needs to be known. Like, where do I go to get my job quests? I'm not gonna make a dedicated video that only says, hey, this is where you this is where you do your job quests and your class quests.
Okay. So you have your limits.
I do have my limits.
Okay. What makes you decide I am going to make a video for something?
High demand.
Just demand?
Almost always high demand, or the need to express a personal opinion. Those are almost all the reasons that I will make a video, or personal interest. Like, even if it's something that isn't necessarily in demand, or I don't have a really strong opinion about it, I still sometimes see something like, I'm gonna make a video on that.
Okay. Where do you kind of get your demand from? Is that mainly just from streaming and getting reaction, or people asking you questions?
YouTube and Twitch comments mostly, or Facebook DMs, or Twitter tweets and all that stuff. Okay.
Well, that makes perfect sense. God, 1,200 videos, man. Okay. Now we're going to go into some stuff where we're going to talk about a little bit of opinions and a little bit of thought on the current state of the Final Fantasy XIV streaming and player content community.
Okie dokie.
This we're going to get real deep, guys. We're going to get real serious. This is important to us. We have to be serious about this. Everybody, serious face right now. That was the least serious face you could give me, Happy. Just because you went to TwitchCon and you have a little thing doesn't mean you get to freaking have the little paddle and put it on stream all the time. Ugh.
Serious face.
You're making me feel bad I didn't go. Making me feel bad, Mr.
It's always next year.
You're not making me very happy.
There it is again.
There it is. We just keep going.
There it is again.
All right. So the first question I have for this is, the interest in the game kind of rises and declines. When an expansion comes out, of course, everyone wants to play the game. But, then people hit the burnout because they're like, oh, 8.3 is too hard. I'm just going to quit because this is stupid. I don't like the way this game is designed because it's only DPS checks. Stuff like that. What is your opinion kind of on the current state of Final Fantasy XIV streamers, and if it's going in kind of a negative direction, if it's going in a positive direction? Do you have any thoughts on that?
It hit its plateau. It hit its plateau for the current patch cycle. That's my most major thought on it. I've experienced it for every patch cycle. It's no different really than the wait between 2.55 and 3.0, or between 2.4 and 2.5. I haven't really seen a difference. It just hits certain numbers, and then it's hard to go above or below that without maybe somebody else hosting you, or somebody else being live for whatever, or any sort of big event like the translations, for example.
Right.
And as for the content itself, that's a whole huge topic right there. They did a good job with the expansion, but it's hard to go from having a game full of variety to then having this narrow array of things to do. Like, a lot of those things were incorporated into the expansion, like hunts and treasure maps, and new crafting, new gathering, more job abilities, a new story, all that stuff. It's very formulaic without actually expanding upon the original game. It's almost replacing the original game. And I think that's the issue a lot of people have with it. Okay.
And that's driving people away. Certain people that are maybe streaming, like, who are some big streamers that used to stream Final Fantasy XIV and don't stream? I'm trying to remember some of these. But he went away a long time. Kof Karnish, am I right? Am I saying that right?
Karnish.
Yeah. He used to stream back in the day, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Stream 14, he streams tons of them.
Yeah, he streams tons, yeah. He used to stream 14, and then he just went into variety. I'm guessing that was just kind of a decision he made on his end, where he wanted to play lots of different games instead of just playing one game.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'm kind of worried that some of the streamers out there are going to get burnt out on the current patch 3.1, and we're going to see it almost half. Not in maybe kind of a little bit in viewers, but more people being interested in streaming. Like, there's lots of people I can think of. I won't name a lot of names, but people who are just like, I'm not streaming Final Fantasy XIV anymore. I'm just going to go to a different game and play it because I didn't like the expansion or so off. I mean, the expansion was great. Did you like the expansion overall? Or are you kind of happy with it, or?
I like the expansion overall. Yeah, I was a big fan of the Savage difficulty. Of course, I still have my minor complaints. My things that I feel could have done better, and I hope they improve on in the future. But it doesn't take away from the fact I've enjoyed my time.
Yeah, I mean, I've enjoyed it too, and people can criticize this game all day long, but I think that it really has a very good hold on people who want to do serious stuff, but not serious stuff 24/7. Maybe serious stuff a little bit lighter, and people who want to go really hardcore have that option. And there's a huge challenge. It's not easy to beat A4 Savage right now, but that might die down with 3.2, 3.2 when they come up with the new content, and everyone's kind of built up at max. So it's a little bit different this time. All right, so man, we kind of answered the next few questions with the statements that we were talking about. You're knocking them out a little bit too quick, Happy.
No such thing.
Come on. All right, so let's get into you a little bit more then. Is there a scenario where you just won't be involved with Final Fantasy XIV anymore?
I don't see that happening. With how obsessed I was with Final Fantasy XI, and Final Fantasy XI, I eventually stepped away from that game due to college and due to just wanting to try other games. But this was also before I was a content creator or broadcaster. I wish I had made videos of Final Fantasy XI all those years. I would have, oh my goodness, I would have made so many Final Fantasy XI videos back in the day when I was far more interested in the game.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, ultimately, it is a game I have an immense amount of appreciation for. I'm a fan of having at least one tab target MMO in my arsenal for what I play. And Final Fantasy XIV, I have a massive connection to Final Fantasy, its story, its lore, the rate at which the content comes out. Although, as we said, we're at a bit of a drought right now because because post-expansion, vacation, European data centers, all that stuff playing a role. I don't see a situation where I stop playing 14 unless 14 is done. That's it. They're like, hey, we're not updating it anymore, as in Final Fantasy XI, which will be seeing its last update in November of this year.
Right. So you're in it for the long run.
Yeah.
No matter what.
No matter what. But I want to be able to play and stream other games more comfortably. And honestly, a big thank you to the people who have been supporting when I stream other games like Guild Wars 2 or single-player games like Tenertia. Because it means a lot to me to be able to do content along those lines and still have people that are interested and come by and want to talk in the chat and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think that's also important, again, for not burning out on the game, because if you dedicated all of your gaming time just to Final Fantasy XIV, maybe you wouldn't like Final Fantasy XIV anymore.
I would be... I mean, like I said earlier in the show, the misconception is that I don't get burnt out, and I do. That's why I only play it 3 hours a day. I just do roulettes. I maybe, gather a little bit, but I don't try to go nuts, and I try to play a different job on each character, so that way it's a varied experience for me, even if I'm doing similar content.
What's your favorite job in Heavensward that is not ninja?
Well, ninja's not my favorite job.
It's not?
Ninja's my main, but in terms of jobs I'm most impressed with them adding skills for and enhancing the playstyles of Summoner and Warrior have got to be up there as two of my favorites. Like, what they did... Because here's the thing. Summoner, the biggest complaint was always that the summons weren't bigger or, the summoner felt more important than the summon itself. For me, they've given it sort of that feeling like you become the old school summon. Like Dreadworm Trance, that big, Akmorn attack at the end reminds me of the old school Final Fantasy where you'd hit your summon, it would do one attack, and it would go away. That is what Dreadworm Trance reminds me of, and I love it.
Awesome.
I love it, love it, love it.
So you would not really care if they never put another single summon that you would control out there. You'd just all be big attacks.
As long as they add the Eggy Glamour system, I'm okay. That's all I need.
What would you glamour it to?
I would change... Well, okay, I guess it depends on which ones are usable. Like, I don't know if, Shiva would be in place of Ifrit for, a melee one or anything like that. But I would probably go with... I'd keep Ifrit because I like Ifrit. I would replace Garuda with, a Ramu Eggy. And Titan, he's a potato. But, I guess if they did Sword and Shield, technically could be... like Titan, so I would go with Shiva in that case. And then, of course, there are people who either want the Carbuncles or they want, Phoenix Eggy or a Mini Bahamut or things like that. I'm just sticking to the OG6.
Okay. All right. That was good for that tangent. We'll go back. All right, what it could be done to get more content creators and streamers active in our community? Is it something that we could do on our end? Is it something Final Fantasy, that Square Enix has to do, or?
I think Square Enix needs to support it a little bit more. Like the hairstyle competitions are fine, the community team does a good job putting those things together, and people enjoy them. But I think that Square Enix as a whole, looking past the community team, yes, community is their job, but Square Enix needs to offer more tools to its content creators so that they are able to provide this variety. A tool that would make for, better recording quality within the game itself. Or, I mean, they have some, like the Wind Up Sun is like one thing, I suppose, if we want to count that.
Okay. The Wind Up, wait, Wind Up Sun. Why do I not know what that is?
It's basically it's a minion that can light up, and you can change the height of it, but when you hit scroll lock and turn off your UI, it disappears too. So you can use it to adjust lighting.
Oh, I gotcha.
Yeah, you can use it to adjust your character's lighting in the game.
That shows you how much I know about tricks to actually make good videos in the game.
Yeah. But I think I think Square Enix needs to encourage it a little bit more. I think that if we had better tools, there would be more content creators. But we do have some great content creators, even the ones that just make the occasional video and don't like produce content constantly. There's nothing wrong with that. I just wish that, like for example, the selfie version, the Final Fantasy XIV selfie song. That's one of my favorite videos of all time. I'm in it, but that's not why it's my favorite. It was my favorite before I was in it, because I got shown a preview of it to let me know when I would be in the video, and I was like, this is amazing.
All right. Okay, cool. They need to do more work for it, and we're not saying they're doing a bad job. We're saying that they could do...
the community team does a lot of work.
But more would need to be done in order to increase people's interest to go out there and make more content. Okay.
I also think the community needs to be a little bit more open to things like that. Like, if it's not a drop-dead hilarious video, a lot of people don't really support it all too much. It's either informational or the funniest thing you've ever seen. And it's a pretty high bar for entry. People have really high expectations of the content, especially on the comedy side. So it can be really hard. It can be pretty intimidating.
Yep, and if other people don't like it, it's not going to really get out there because you have to upvote it on Reddit.
Yeah, that also. I mean, that's another thing, is that content has to be discovered, not promoted. That's something that's a problem in a lot of communities other than our own, though.
Okay. All right. So I went over talking about live streams. I went over, well, you're actually doing the live letter stuff, and you're translating, State of the Realm, going out, and you do guides for everything. Everyone knows you do guides for everything. What other videos do you make that people might not know about?
I have a Let's Play series for Final Fantasy XIV where I made a new character from scratch and only played it with the controller, which is something I never in my life do. And you can tell in these videos, like, even I'm learning certain functionalities of the controller in the video. But the idea is to show people, the tricks, the little tricks you can do to, be saving up gil while you're leveling, or, to make sure you don't make certain mistakes on quests. Learn little tricks about bosses that maybe you wouldn't find in a guide, or the direction you can take during certain leveling, and just for general commentary in the background while maybe they're working or driving or something along those lines, to offer something more for people who just need to have something in their ear, or they just can't take what they're doing.
I gotcha. That's awesome. All right. We're kind of done with all my questions. I hope they were relatively satisfying to talk about. But we have a good amount of viewer questions.
Okay.
And we're probably going to get more.
Probably.
We're probably going to get enough to last us here for the rest of the night. And then when you're ready to start streaming at 5 a.m., you'll already be up and ready to go. On that whole reference with the controller, by the way, and this was asked before we even started streaming, like 30 minutes before the stream went live almost. And I can't say his name right. I wish I could. I can't say anyone's name right. You're lucky I said Happy right. Hikarinu?
Hikari.
Hikari.
Let's just go with Hikari.
Hikari, okay. He said that this was something that you would know. What does the L button do?
God, this has nothing to do with Final Fantasy XIV.
Nothing to do with Final Fantasy XIV at all?
No, so in a game called Dungeon Defenders 2, I was streaming that a couple weeks ago, and the L key is the suicide button. And the person I was streaming with said, "Dude, if you press the L key, it brings up a menu where you can upgrade your skills." And I pressed it and just died immediately.
Nice.
And I was like, "You son of a bitch!" And then everyone's like, "No, man, just press the L key." And then you go over the 14. That's like, "Hey, Happy, what does the L key do in Final Fantasy 14?" And it's like, what does the L key do? I don't remember. I honestly don't remember what the L key does.
Did you fall for Alt F4 ever?
No, I never fell for Alt F4.
Okay, it's
Thank
good.
God.
Guys, don't press Alt F4.
No, you should bind your the end of your
Limit break.
Yeah, bind your limit break to Alt F4.
Okay, so let's go through some of these questions here.
L is Link Shell. Duh.
Yeah, duh. Yeah. All right. So, legitimate question. We actually. All right, Mr. Happy, can you give us some background and history on a Dream Network we know and love and has grown since? We've kind of actually went over that, so we're going to skip that one. That was a good question, Mint, but I already knew it was a good question, and I already put it in there.
He takes pride in that.
I take a large amount of pride, actually, not just a little bit, a large amount. We actually kind of answered a lot of these questions. Man, I am on top of it. Let's see. So in terms of dungeons, Happy, is your response any different if you get paired with someone you know well and from the game or on the stream? I guess we kind of mentioned that a little bit.
So almost every time I go into a dungeon with someone I know, as soon as the dungeon starts, they go, "Oh my God, are you the real Mr. Happy?" And I just tell them, "I will punch you in the face so hard," because they're doing it on purpose. And then, like, I have the Dark Knight / Paladin from my static. He often comes into the stream and just, he just says something like, "Happy, huge fan," and he'll ask the question, "What do you think about, Savage progression right now?" And I will be like, "Rochelle, I will punch you in the face." Then I'll go into a dungeon and it'll be like, "That's not the real Mr. Happy."
When do you think we're going to get flying in A Realm Reborn, Mr. Happy?
Never. Not until we have until Deathwing comes and destroys everything again.
And that question was from Cryo, by the way. I need to start actually crediting you guys. I'm sorry. I'm not as good as Adagio here. There you go, Adagio.
There's a compliment for you.
Yep, there's a compliment. I don't know if this is something you want to talk about or not. Do you care about YouTube gaming? Do you think? I
think it needs to exist. That's ultimately my end thoughts on it, because Twitch needs a competitor to encourage them to improve at either a faster rate or to offer partners or non-partners even opportunities that they otherwise couldn't give them. I do think that one of its greatest functionalities is also its greatest flaw, the replay system.
Mm-hmm.
It's great to be able to replay a stream live. Unfortunately, it makes Content ID a bitch, because it will shut down your stream if you have anything that's Content ID matched after a few minutes. So they need to overcome that. Then otherwise, it's going to be really hard for people to take it too seriously.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's a solid piece of competition for Twitch, and it needs to evolve, and then Twitch needs to evolve.
I am completely on board with you on that. And that part of that evolving is kind of, I want to talk to you about a feature, and this is my personal question. That was from Emma Stone, by the way. My personal question is, one of the features they're going to be introducing is that they're going to allow people to have playlists on Twitch. So, all right, so we have playlist, and so your stream is up. You're able to play all this stuff that you already streamed earlier that day, and it can just go on repeat or however you want to do it. Like I can just sit here and have MogTalk episodes going the entire time while I'm
like rebroadcast at 3 a.m. for European viewers maybe that want to watch it the next morning.
Exactly, and so that sounds great. But do you think that's going to take away from other streamers at all?
So I had an AMA with the CEO of Twitch, and this was a question that came up, and we asked. They said that if you are playing a playlist, you will not be listed amongst live broadcasters.
Okay.
You'll not be shown. Like, let's say I have 300 people watching a rebroadcast, and you have 299. Like, it's not going to show me above you. I'm not even going to be on the list in the first place. It's literally just for people who are aware of the feature, and to make sure that a broadcast is more visible. Because let's be honest, you really want to watch a rebroadcast of my stream where I'm talking to the viewers from 5 hours ago and I'm not interacting with you at all. It's way less interesting.
Right.
It also means that, more interestingly, that people could produce shows. Like, if let's say for example, you wanted to marathon MogTalk before a specific episode, you could do that, and then just between episodes, you could record like a 30-second advertisement for a sponsor, and then play that between them, and you can upload it to Twitch and then play them in that order. It's got some good functionality, but it shouldn't take away from broadcasters who are live. It should just be something that people have access to if they know a broadcaster does rebroadcasts of certain things at certain times.
All right, that's a great answer. I feel a little bit better about it.
Yeah.
All right, Cryogenesis has another question. It's kind of a multi-part question. It's all like this, basically going towards the same thing. One, are you sick of people asking you for a ninja guide? And do you ever think that you're going to actually do a full-blown ninja guide?
So I'm not sick of it because people ask me for certain videos all the time. The Dark Knight video is another one that's really popular since I leveled that a long time ago. And I said, I had a friend who gave me his opener and his damage rotation. And I said, I was like, I have access to this information and I credit him and it'll be okay. And I just never did it because I was doing A4 and A3 progression for weeks and weeks and weeks. As for making a full-blown ninja guide, I want to. I need to make sure I have all the information correct, though, and I haven't had time to sit down and make sure I have numbers to go alongside things. For example, Shasta, somebody else from Gilgamesh, and I've played with them before, put out an opener that Farana and myself tested a while back and agreed was better than the current rotation we are recommending, and then never did it because I think we didn't like the way Blood for Blood lined up with a certain skill or something. I don't remember. And I've tried that opener, and I do like it better. And I have to make sure that I have that opener practice and how it's improved from the old opener and things like that. So it's not so much that I don't want to do it, it's that due to a lot of the networking I've been doing, a lot of the investment in Twitch that I've not had time to sit down and make sure I have all those numbers in line to make something that I can say is an exceptional guide.
All right. Great answer. All right, so happy if you didn't become, this is from Lox2291. Happy if you didn't become a YouTube content creator and a Twitch streamer, what do you think you would be doing? Or where do you think you would be?
Probably working in New York City as internal tech support, although with a different company instead, because I'm somebody who easily gets along within companies, and it's honestly a very easy job to fix people's computers and set up databases. And like my first day on the job, my superior says, "Hey, listen, before we get started, I need to know one thing. Have you watched The It Crowd?" I was like, "What's that?" He said, "Your first assignment is to watch the entire first season. I don't care how you find it. I don't care what you have to do, YouTube, whatever, just go find it, go watch it." And from that point on, like, my job, believe it or not, never got harder than that. There were rough days occasionally where I had a lot on my plate, but it was such a laid-back job to the point where I was one of those people that could watch Twitch at work. Somebody who did watch Twitch a lot at work.
Right. I kind of have that ability too, so I'm lucky. I'm blessed. I'm blessed by RNG Jesus to be able to give me that.
Yeah.
All right. So next question from Jesus. It's actually spelled Heyzee.
I know Jesus.
Okay.
I got you,
Excellent. Bro. All right. My question for Happy would be, what's the future vision for your dream team?
Future vision is to get as many people partnered and networking with other broadcaster developers as much as possible. I want to see everyone on a team grow. That was like part of the reason that I turned down the team the first time, is I didn't think I could offer them enough resources in order to actually help them grow. And they've all done phenomenal jobs. A lot of them are taken off on their own, and that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. Because it means that Mel and I were able to give them a community with which they could grow and they could develop their own branding and things like that. So I was really proud of Sly, Razé, Miztech at Fan Festival to see them, how they were networking, how they were approaching meeting new people. And I have the highest hopes for everyone on the Dream Team who is working forward, who is working on getting partnership, who wants to make these connections. I have the utmost confidence that they will see these improvements in the future.
Beautiful. So it's the same thing. You just keep going and making sure people can succeed, have a way to succeed.
Right.
That's awesome. All right. So Dins, he wanted to know, and these are all not going to be like organized. They're going to be completely different than the last question.
Okay.
But he was asking, do you feel there's any class or role underrepresented in the stream community?
Monk. Absolutely Monk. Monk and Paladin. Paladin not so much. I've seen a lot of Paladin streamers before, but I don't know. I don't. Do I know any Monk streamer? I gotta know some. I know that Pharos before he started moving, and getting married, that he was
Right.
streaming on Monk a little bit. Monk is really underrepresented in the streaming community. Hopefully that changes in the future. I say Paladin only because Mystic's been playing Dark Knight a lot lately.
Hmm.
So as far as I'm concerned, that takes away from the Paladin a little bit. Before that, she really had. We have Mio as a Monk streamer, but that's
Hmm.
I definitely think that's underrepresented. The Monk is definitely underrepresented.
Yeah. All right. K Prodigy has a question that says, if you Final Fantasy 14 never existed, just wasn't a game, what would you be streaming instead?
Honestly, I'd probably still be playing Final Fantasy 11. I'd probably be playing World of Warcraft. I'd probably be trying out every new MMO that came out, which I'm starting to do now. I'm starting to actually give new MMOs a big chance.
Hmm.
Just to see, to give them instead of just writing them off right off the bat, which I used to do immediately, like, oh, it's not like Final Fantasy 11. It's the worst game ever. Which I used to do a lot.
Did you when I said Final Fantasy 11 was a horrible game?
No, well,
Oh.
I said it's not Final Fantasy 11,
Okay.
therefore it's the worst game ever
Oh,
made.
I got you. Okay. I was like, wait a minute. Okay.
I was one of those years and years ago, and then 14, I had, the thing is, I got into MMOs because I love the idea of never needing to buy other games. I
Yeah.
was like, oh, I'll just pay a subscription. I'll never need to buy another game. That was so.
It's a
Yeah.
beautiful thing, and no one can really complain about subscription. I feel when people are like, I don't know if I can pay the subscription. I just think, please just go to like a Taco Bell. There's drop change under the window that has enough to pay for your subscription. It just you
No,
can.
some people have legitimate financial issues, and
Yeah.
it's a responsible decision not to do it. But there are some people who are just like, I have the money, but fuck you,
Yeah, I don't want to pay for I got to pay $45 per content patch, and then I don't get a raid, a new Savage raid that I'm quitting the game because I'm burning out on it.
Yeah.
Anyways, okay, sorry, the salt's gone. Mint Addict, she likes mints a lot, by the way. Altoids, I think. I remember seeing Twitch supporting streaming on other PlayStation platforms at TwitchCon. Was that really a thing? And if so, what do you think about it?
Their new PlayStation 4 support. So it's going to have its own dedicated broadcasting and viewing app on PS3, PS4, PS Vita, and PlayStation TV, I believe. And it's going to be a fully functional like Twitch. It's not going to be like it is now, where you just kind of broadcast from your PlayStation 4, and it's very, very limited. It is a full-blown application that should really open up. It's the next level of opening up broadcasting to console streamers. And I was really excited to see that. It's also going to mean that people can actually view, because I think right now if you try to use the Twitch app from the PlayStation 4 and not going through like just the regular internet browser, I think that you can only view PlayStation 4 streamers. So it's going to also open up a lot more people to be viewing on Twitch who may prefer doing it on their PlayStation 4 or maybe a mobile thing like the Vita much more easily.
I gotcha. All right, and Cryo, you are a great person. I like you a lot. If you ever came into an issue where you couldn't pay for your subscription, just let me know. I'll help you out, man.
He's got you.
I got you, man. All right. So, actually, this was already asked. People like to ask about you and raw snacks a lot. All right.
That's fine.
I have seen the front page. Okay. This is from Vayland.
Okay.
Mr. Happy, ever since I have seen the front page of the Dream Network, I've thought about how cool those indigo colored hoodies are in the drawing. Would there be any plans or interest of making an official Dream Network hoodie a reality to purchase?
I think we've discussed that in the past, and actually for some of our members who are interested, we actually just got jackets not too long ago. I don't have mine, it's back in LA. Mel and I both completely forgot to bring those to TwitchCon, so she's gonna have to mail them out since they're in LA. But they're kind of think of it like the first ever Dream jackets, specifically for the members. We have discussed having actual jackets and shirts before in the past. It just has never come to fruition because a lot of us are either working our own jobs or working on bettering our streams of YouTube, and it's hard to find the time to invest too much into that. I won't say it's coming. I will just say it's been thought of and it's been discussed before. That's as far as it's really gotten.
All right. Atari22 wants to know what your ID in 11 was and what server did you play on?
I was first Mr. Happy, MR Happy, on the server Valfer, before I eventually left that server and made a new character on Shiva by the name of Lil Happy, Lil Happy. Yes,
I love it. I love it.
You can tell my age. I also had Mr. Happy 2 on that server, even though Mr. Happy 1 was on a different server. So it confused the shit out of people.
Oh, that's golden Little Frost.
Yeah.
I could have come on there. Little Frosty. We could have been friends and we could have played a game together. I've never played 11, though.
Yeah.
Looks, I couldn't jump. It can't jump in a game. What's the point? Just delete the game.
You can fall.
You can fall, but you can't go up. You just can go down. You can never go up.
You can go upstairs.
It's not the same, man. All right, so we're kind of into a little bit more trolley questions here.
Oh, great. Let me lean back for this one.
Lean back, get ready. Cryogenesis, what is your opinion on green tea?
I like green tea. I actually, when I was in college, I bought like a 200 pack of green tea. I went through that thing while I was in a college semester. But now it's like I need the hard stuff. I need my coffee, and I drink it black. No sugar, no milk, no nothing. Just black coffee, like 5 cups.
Okay. I honestly, I like green tea. It's good. But there's something that makes me obsessed with it, and that's if you get green tea ice cream, and then you wrap it around in mochi.
We can't do this. This conversation's going to a dark place.
Oh, is it?
A dark place of green tea ice cream where we never leave this conversation again.
Oh,
And a conversation about food that everyone's going to hate us for.
Oh. All right. We'll come back to these troll questions. I actually have collected some questions a little bit over the week that I wanted to ask you too. This is from Dens as well, and he was wondering if there's one change you could make to your stream or your show without worry of making a negative impact to your fan base. What would it be and why? Kind of a weird question.
I don't know how
Sounds a little bit loaded too.
It is a really loaded question. My stream and my YouTube videos?
We can pick one.
I don't think there's anything to my stream that I'd be afraid of a negative impact. I guess, no, I can't really. Okay, so stream and YouTube, the only thing that I usually fear, and this was a fear that was much more relevant years ago when I was first starting, I had a fear of doing anything that wasn't 14 related. And it affecting viewer loyalty and people who actually came by regularly who primarily wanted to focus on 14. And I was just afraid that I would fall out of relevancy if I didn't play 14 and 14 exclusively. That was a big thing for me when I was actually working on my partnership for Twitch, where I was like, I probably need to stream 14 almost full time. But over the years, I've seen success streaming other games. Diablo 3, I peaked to over 2,000 people at one point. With Final Fantasy 15, when the demo came out, I was, I had 1,000 people at any given time. I did 2.0 and had similar numbers, 800, 900 people. Single-player Final Fantasy games, people still enjoy watching. It's just sometimes with the indie games, there's less viewers, but I don't mind because I'm having fun, which is something I had a hard time doing. I had a hard time just playing a game I wanted to play for fun out of fear of not having the numbers for it.
Yeah. I think that's something almost every streamer faces at some point, especially if they start in a certain community and trying to branch out. It's hard. But you got to do it because you got to stay sane.
Yes, have to stay sane, which is, again, Devilian. Been playing it. It's fun.
Is it fun?
It's fun. It's an MMO action RPG. That's right. It's like Diablo 3 and Terra had a baby.
Huh.
Yeah.
Do you still have the little girls running around in their underwear? That's Terra.
I can neither confirm nor deny the existence of any skimpy outfits that exist in that game. The answer being yes.
Okay.
Which I don't really care because I didn't play Terra. It doesn't affect me. I understand the Korean market for games is a lot different. The Asian market, the Eastern market, is a much different beast. Even just looking at League of Legends skin spotlights, the difference between like the Chinese version and the American version and the Western version is so different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Another question. This is kind of a little bit more personal. When did you start playing video games as a child? What age?
what? I think 2 or 3. I think they handed me a Game Boy. I remember I used to play a game. So there were a lot of games like Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine. I don't. That's not like. It reminds me of Tetris, but it's a very specific genre of game. I remember waking up at 5 in the morning to play a Kirby version of that game all the time. Like, I was addicted to video games all throughout my childhood as soon as they put a Game Boy in my hand. So 2 or 3 years old.
Oh man, yeah. I would say I was about 4, so I started playing video games before you, youngin.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yep.
I love Mean Bean Machine too.
Yep. Oh hey, hey MTQ, how you doing? So.
Wait, what? Miz is here. I'm out. We hate
Yeah,
her.
we're done.
Yeah,
Miz,
we're done.
how do you let her? Why don't you just ban her? She's just gonna say bad things.
Kirby's Avalanche. See, somebody remembered the name of the game.
There we go. There we go. All right. The other question to that is, what is your favorite game? And I'm guessing series would. You're gonna say Final Fantasy. You have to say Final Fantasy, right?
I actually don't have a favorite game of all time.
Oh.
I don't like saying I have a favorite game of all time. It doesn't make sense to me. I have a favorite RPG, a favorite shooter, but I don't
favorite
have
RPG.
Game. Final Fantasy VI.
Favorite shooter.
That would be Rainbow Six, the original.
Okay. Favorite puzzle game.
That would be Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine.
All right. Favorite game that is suited for children.
That is suited for children.
And is geared towards children.
I had a teaching game when I was really young that I was addicted to. I believe it was based on the Magic School Bus. That was my favorite, geared for children's game. I remember there was a mini game where you had to dig for oil, and I was terrible at it, but I loved it anyway.
Okay. Favorite MA game.
What's MA?
Mature.
Oh, mature. That's either Doom 3 or that's between Doom 3 and there's a handful of other games that I really like that are mature, and Grand Theft Auto really. I'm gonna go with just not any specific Grand Theft Auto. If I had to pick one, it'd be Vice City, but Grand Theft Auto also big mature game favorite.
Okay. Favorite version of Pokemon. All right, that's my last one.
That would be Yellow.
Yellow. Okay. Good. We got that out there. Now you guys know. If there was a favorite game, it would be a mesh of all those put together.
Yes.
Yep. All right, and let's go back to some of these trolley questions. Okay. Why does Heidelin hate Lalafels? Is that a thing?
I don't know. I think she likes us a lot. I think that we're pretty cool. We're pretty cool cats. We're not actual cats.
No, you're not cats.
It's a figure of speech.
Okay. All right. Not an Eorzea.
Right.
Eorzea. All right. That was from Shoeless Gamer. We kind of already went over the snoring thing, FFEV. But he wants to know, how loud do you snore? If you had to put it on a scale.
Mel?
Mel?
I think I've woken myself up with my snoring. Is that an adequate answer?
That's on the level of about 9 or 10, I would say. That's pretty bad. Unless if you're just a really light sleeper.
I am a pretty light sleeper. But Mel tells me I'm not. Apparently she'll take pictures of me when I'm sleeping because I look so peaceful. And I'm like, that's creepy. Don't do that. Please.
You just take pictures of yourself and say, "Oh, bae, take a picture when you're sleeping."
Did you just say bae? Don't say bae. Don't do that.
Don't do it. We're not doing it. All right. That's the first time I think I've ever said it in my life, to be completely honest with you. I'm looking
read at you on the stream, which is 30 seconds delayed, and just giving you the dirtiest look right now.
I actually have your camera kind of covered up right now with the questions, and so let me look. Oh, that's a good look. You're good, man. Don't worry about it.
No, now I look fine.
Yeah. You look okay. You don't look happy, but it's all right.
I'm smiling, but I'm not smiling on the inside.
All right. Okay, Sickle Havoc. This is kind of a challenge question. Happy, without looking behind you, can you name the people on that poster on the wall behind you in order from the girl in the front to the person in the back?
He's asking me about the friggin' Final Fantasy XIV poster. No, I can't. Maniphilia is the one in the center. That's all I know.
Done.
There's no way I'm gonna know that. I don't even remember where icons are on my desktop, and you want me to remember that?
You know what's funny? I have this poster right here of summons from Final Fantasy XI.
Yeah.
I've never played Final Fantasy XI before in my life, except for 2 days when I
Wow.
realized good job.
Can I get that then?
You want to swap?
Yeah.
I'll send you this one if you can give me that one, and I'll remember the names of them all. Okay. Will you ever get new glasses? Hash11 asks.
I've thought about getting a different pair of glasses of some sort of protective eyewear for the computer because that's what these are. These are gunners. They're just protective eyewear for
Hmm.
when, I used to work in, like I said, in computers, so I would see anywhere from 10 to 20 to 30 different computers a day. So downloading a program like F.Lux wasn't exactly an option back then, and I still just wear them because I paid for them already, so I'm just going to use them.
Oh yeah. Okay. So here's a follow-up question to this, and this is you. I don't know if you're going to advertise or if you can promote it properly or not. Maybe you want to, maybe you don't. So there's a program that you can buy that will get rid of the blue tint on your computer. In comparison to Gunner glasses, what would you say?
Well, I mean, you don't even have to buy it. It's F.Lux. F.Lux can be a replacement for
Right.
glasses.
And you think it's an adequate replacement if you can't get the
People
glasses?
tell me it's an adequate replacement. I haven't personally tested it.
Okay. Excellent. All right. MTQ capture. Did I say that right? MTQ
Yeah, MTQ
capture.
capture like I
Catch.
like capture Pokemon.
I wonder what MTQ means. Maybe it means
I want you to guess.
uh my uh my tacos question. I can't do it. I can't do it.
My tacos. No, you got to finish it. What is my tacos?
I can think of something bad, but I can't think of something good. And I'm trying really hard. My tacos quesadilla brings all the boys to the yard.
My taco. We'll go no because that's MTQ. My tacos quesadilla. There we go.
Okay.
My taco quota.
My
There we
taco
go.
quota capture. So she's trying to capture her taco quota.
Yes, exactly. It's like the cops have a quota before at the end of the month. It's the same thing, but with
Okay.
tacos.
Let's get to her question. I don't know. She probably isn't. Did she just create that account? All right. What's your favorite place to eat in San Francisco? Kappa.
That's hard. There's so many good places. Boiling Crab was a big highlight for me. So basically, what it is, and there's places like this around the United States, but it's the first place I've ever been to like that. They don't give you any like silverware, pretty much. They just put They put wax paper over your table, and you order like I want this crab in a bag with like spicy sauce and lemon and potatoes and corn, and they just plop a hot bag full of boiled crab with all these things mixed in on the table, and you just eat it with your hands, and it's amazing.
That sounds absolutely ridiculous. I'm going to be honest. When I think San Francisco, all I think about is food. I don't think
Oh,
of anything
the
else.
food, the food there is so good. It's so good. Tito's Tacos is also nice, but still.
Okay. Let's get one serious question that kind of came in. The exotic taco. Happy, what's your favorite part of any raid in the game? And I think you kind of answered that earlier
With what?
by saying that you love the banging your head against the wall until you got the clear.
I thought they maybe meant like a specific mechanic.
Let's go with mechanic then.
Specific mechanic. I really like the random towers in Turn 8 Savage. If I had to go with anything else, it would probably be the final phase of Turn 9. One of my favorite overall. It's very disjointed, and from an arcing perspective on the entire fight, it's very poorly made. That being said, it is one of the most fun encounters, especially Turn 9 Savage. It is one of the most fun encounters in the game. Right behind that would be the final phase of A3 Savage, probably.
Okay. I will admit to T9 is definitely the peak in fights in this game. So far, I haven't seen anything that made me say this is better than T9. I don't know. I love it.
It's a fun fight. When I look at it, because I went to school for game design, so when I look at that fight, it's very disjointed, which means like bosses forgetting mechanics or mechanics kind of just coming out of nowhere. It doesn't feel like it thematically matches the fight at some points. But it has things that are thematic, and it's just an overall fun fight.
Okay. Two last questions. One's for me. I'm going to take over for a little bit. Mint Addict, do I call Kirby? No, it would be a bad situation. So I don't. Then the next question for you, and it's one of the last questions we have for you tonight. No Fear Boogeyman. Mr. Happy, would you ever slap Frosty if he gave you the chance to?
If you asked me to slap you in the face, I would do it as a friend.
All right, what if I told you to do it, and I didn't need you to do it? I just
would do
told you would still do. Okay.
Yeah, you're telling me to do it. Of course I'm going to slap you in the face.
All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. So look forward to that next fan fest. It'll be a very good scene. Mr. Happy Man, I appreciate you coming on this show and staying up late, even though you're going to be up. And how many hours?
4 hours and 39 minutes.
Jeez. I am sorry. That's...
Don't worry about it. Then maybe it's going to be rough.
You guys should definitely wake up for it and wake up in 4 hours too. Or you'll have a recording for it, I'm sure too, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, I have a special stream tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. to 10 a.m. There will be giveaways. There will be games.
Yeah.
That's all you need to know.
That's all you need to know.
Regular stream tomorrow at noon through 5 p.m. and then State of the Realm.
And then sleep.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay. Okay. Maybe.
Maybe.
All right. So there's a couple of people who aren't really too familiar. It's tough coming up in the streaming business. Not too many people really know who you are right now.
Understandable.
Could you tell all these good people where they can find you, and maybe why they should find you, Mr. Happy?
So you can find me pretty much everywhere, Mr. Happy1227, except YouTube. And people get confused by this because my YouTube shows Mr. Happy1227 as the channel name, but when I made the link back in God knows how long ago at this point, I made it Xehanort1227. Remember when I said I did Kingdom Hearts videos? Yeah. Pretty much sort of the origin of that a long time ago. So it's stuck as that. So Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, Mr. Happy1227, YouTube, Xehanort1227, but if you search Mr. Happy, you'll find it anyway. And then why you should find me, you like 14, you like games, you like interactive Twitch chat, whatever your reason might be, I will do my best to entertain you or inform you, whichever it is you desire. So,
yeah, and let me make sure, I'll do this, shout out, hold on. Mr. Happy, how'd you spell? What number's 1337, right? 1337.
Nah.
All right, there you go. You guys can follow him if you need to. It's right there in case you need to go there again. So finishing up, there's a couple other things. I want to just do a self-promotion here for our next week's episode, and you're gonna love this. We're doing it an hour early to accommodate people who need to wake up early the next day.
Son of a bitch.
We're doing it at all right. So 8:30 Eastern and 5:30 and this is PM, by the way, Pacific. And we have Creator coming on. We have he's in your FC, I think.
Odola's coming on the show.
Odola's coming on.
Fucking Odo's coming on the show. Oh man, I gotta watch this.
It's gonna be great having him on there. Then we're gonna have it's AIU. It's really different. I asked him how to pronounce it, and he said I really is the way. I Riley.
Really? That's how it's pronounced?
Yeah, that's how he kind of sees it to be pronounced. And then we have one more guest on the show, which is actually he knows Creator, and they kind of know each other pretty well. He's another bard. God, why can't I get his name right? I have it. I feel so stupid right now. Hold on. Let me unembarrass myself by pulling up the episode and get his name out. It's Rio. Okay, Rio Zzz. Rio Zzz.
How'd you forget that?
Zzz. Can't forget the Zzz. All four of them are going to be on our show next week. And we're going to discuss being a machinist and being a bard. And that's going to be a lot of fun, especially getting all these huge bard and machinist people coming together and discussing it in detail, the support role, machinist versus bard, and what tips and advice you can use to make things better.
They're not going to like you calling it the support role.
I know, that's going to be part of the discussion. I swear that's part of the discussion.
Oh,
it has to be, right? And so we're going to talk about that and why they don't like it being called the support role as well, because everyone's going to say, fuck, support role? What are you talking about?
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's going to be 1 hour earlier than we normally do, and who knows, maybe in the future we'll change our time up and we'll start doing a 2 p.m. show on Saturday so everybody can make it and people don't, not get sleepy. You give me that angry face for. No, this is the last. I'm just kidding. I would have totally.
Mr. Sleepy, please.
I would have totally brought the show back an hour or two, but I didn't know that you were waking up so early. I feel so bad.
I should have told you.
Oh well.
Yeah.
I'll buy you a coffee. I'll send you a Starbucks card. You have a Starbucks near you?
No, I don't drink Starbucks.
Okay. Dunkin' Donuts?
Just buy me a friggin' French vanilla thing for my Keurig, and we'll be okay.
Done. It costs like 75 cents. But I got about a whole pack, so I'll keep the rest for myself, and I'll just mail you the other one. So yeah, cool. Anyways, guys, again, that show's next week, 5:30 Pacific time, 8:30 Eastern time. And you have any last words, Mr. Happy?
Thanks, everyone, for coming by the show. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and be sure to tune in next week for that very special episode.
Yeah,
because
and
Art of Machine is a big topic.
yeah, and make sure to catch State of the Realm tomorrow. When does State of the Realm start, Mr. Happy? I'm going to let you say it.
Starts at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is GMT minus 4?
Maybe?
I can't
do GMT.
I think it's GMT. I used to say it was GMT minus 5, but I think it depends on daylight savings. I think right now it's GMT minus 4, and then daylight savings comes around, it'll be an extra hour topped on that.
Okay.
So.
And since you're the guest on the show, we do need to host somebody before we go off air, and I would like you to tell me who we should host before we go off the air.
Oh man, we got choices. Let's see.
While he's picking somebody and he's looking up a name, I do want to tell you guys, when we host somebody, I do, after MogTalk especially, I do enjoy everyone going in there and asking the people a question. It doesn't matter what the question is. It's their favorite food. Why they hate or love Mr. Happy.
Oh God, please don't ask that.
And just why does Mr. Happy snore so loud? That could be another one.
Yeah, she covers my mouth too. That's
but yeah, just go in there and ask them a question, and that way they know they're appreciated and people care about things that they do. Maybe if depending on the question you ask.
Let's do Moogle Mama. Let's do
Moogle
Rosé.
All right, Rosé. Let me go ahead and get this typed in here. Let me do a shout out for her real quick so you guys can have a link to it. And then do host Rosé. And she's awesome. Just one thing to remember when you go into her stream, she's a family-friendly stream. We are MA stream. So, we cuss a little bit, but try to tone it down for her. She has a really awesome stream. Just make sure you go in there and censor yourself a little bit more than what we do.
A little bit. Here's what you do. You replace every curse word with the word Kupo.
Yeah, Kupo is the way to go. And I think, again, that is one of the best things that's ever been created within the streaming community, is Kupo. I will say that. All right. You guys have a wonderful night. Thank you for coming. And I'm going to sit here and wave awkwardly for 15 seconds so you guys can see it on the stream delay. Bye, guys. Bye. Hey, you know what's awesome? We do have the same beard.
Yeah, we do. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's kind of awkward. And we both have that poster back there, and we both have the same mic and pop filter. What?
Jesus Christ.
Are you fucking watching me?
This is Bizarro Land, I think.
Yeah, and we're waving our hands kind of. All right, good night, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
All right.